This week, the Fiends watched Scream.
Hello, Sydney. It's an honor.
2022.
Or 5, maybe, you know? Well, let's call Scream 5, why not?
We don't know what each other thought. Very excited to see what each other thought.
I actually really am. Actually, I was like going to bed last night going, ooh, I wonder what Mikey thought about it, you know? And I woke up with a boner. What did you think about 2022's Scream?
It's hard for me to find the words to describe how much I hated this movie, how offended I'm really offended at this movie. I hate it with a passion. And I'm a big Scream guy, love the franchise. I pretty much like every movie that's come before it. Some are obviously way better than others, but I like all of them. I hated this movie from front to back, and we'll get into the reasons why. But overall, it makes me want to fucking vomit, so I'm going to stop talking so you can get your opinion out, because I don't know. I have no clue if you're going to be like, I have zero idea what you're going to say. So, Michael, what did you think of Scream?
You're going to hate me.
Oh, God damn it.
You're going to hate me so much, dude. And for many reasons other than what you even think you're going to hate me for. I did not like this movie at all.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
I was just doing
Yes.
I was doing a little double entendre there.
You got me.
I got you. You got?
I got.
So I have so many issues with it. And I went in actually just assuming because this was a January release, like we all did back when we saw the trailer last year. We're like, it's probably going to suck because it's in January. And it did.
Fuck you, it's January!
Couple things I was like, okay. But most of the 98% of it can go fuck itself.
Yep.
So fuck Scream 5.
Would you like to play a game?
Fuck you! So, we are going to spoil the fuck out of it. So if you haven't seen it, stop right now and go see it. And then why don't you come back? You know what I mean? Come on back. Give a little bookmark and say, yeah, we're going to come back to the Fiends. Okay? Because we are going to really get into it. We're going to spoil the fuck out of it. So, I think the movie, and I think I should have known this, Michael. Mm-hmm. It's the first movie in the franchise not directed by Wes Craven, okay? Second movie in the franchise not to be written by Kevin Williamson. He did not write the second one, I believe it is. And it's the first movie in the franchise not to be scored by the same person. So those three things, to me, I should have been like, oh yeah, this is going to be a piece of shit. But I didn't. I don't know why I was blinded. I should have been like, it's a January release. This movie's going to fucking suck. But for some reason, maybe it's my nostalgia boner for the Scream franchise, that anyone comes out, I'm like, okay, I'm going to like it regardless. So I think I didn't do any of this research before. So I didn't know all of this, right? Obviously, you knew Wes didn't direct it. He's dead, R.I.P.
Wes Craven, you always think of him as the king of horror. He is an incredible director, but he's also an incredible human.
I might start crying when we start talking about Wes.
He was like a father in a lot of ways to all of us.
But I had no idea. I knew it's the guys who did a segment of VHS. They did Ready or Not. So, I knew, okay, maybe some decent hands.
Beauty of Wes Craven, he was such a kind soul.
We are fans on a level that is hard to express.
And that's all I knew. So I think I should have done that research before so that my expectations might have been lower.
What were your expectations?
My expectations were it's going to be another Scream movie. I think I love Scream 4. I know you're not the biggest fan of Scream 4.
I like it.
I think after this, you should go back and rewatch 4.
I'm going to.
Because you're going to be like, oh my God, now I know what a bad Scream movie is. Because Scream 4 came out, I fucking loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I was like, oh my God, this is a Scream movie. I don't care what you think of any of the movies in the franchise. They all have the same feel, all have the same music, all have the same diet. They all feel like they're in the same family. This movie felt like it wasn't. And I never watched the show on MTV, so I don't know how much that is influenced by the original movies. But this is kind of more akin to that, where I feel like it should be thrown in that category rather than throw it in with the original 4.
It's just, it's its own category. You're right. It's a very secluded film, but they try so hard to make it inclusive, like so hard, like over the top, They want you to, if you love the original Screams, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
They try so hard to just get you back in.
You ready?
For this?
I like what you said earlier, offended, because I did feel that.
See, I disagree with what you just said, though.
What?
Like, I feel like they did not try hard to get the original fans back in this movie.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
They took no notes from Wes Craven and into this movie. They took no notes from Kevin Williamson and put it in this movie. They just tried to almost replicate what they did back then and release it, 25 years later. That's what I think they did. They didn't say, what did Wes Craven do? What did Kevin Williamson do? I don't even think there's one shot of an above view with a lamppost and then going down to the street, which is in fucking every goddamn Scream movie. I don't even think there was that in here. I'm just saying, I think they just tried to replicate scenes and replicate dialogue. And when you do that, it's never going to be as good as the original. So instead, let's say, what did Scream do? Okay, it commented on slasher movies and rules in horror movies.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie.
So let's take that idea and maybe mess with it a little bit. Let's not make every fucking character an expert in horror movies and a cinephile. That's not how life works.
Right.
Every fucking character in this movie knew everything about horror movies and everything about cinema. And I'm like, you need one Randy character, maybe two. Who knows? Every character knew the extensive backstory of the Stab movies and horror movies in general, and it made me fucking super upset.
This new young cast, they did a great job.
Ghostface is back. Make yourself harder to find. Delete social media, tape over your phone camera.
Yes, thank you very much, Edward Snowden.
They are so enthusiastic, and they're all great actors.
Help us figure out who's behind this.
What'd you think of the opening?
I thought the opening was okay.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was okay, but then I'm going, but wait a
Why,
second.
though? I'm sorry to interrupt, but why was it okay?
I thought
That's
it was
what I'm
okay.
trying to say.
Look, it wasn't great and it wasn't shitty. I thought it was okay. Like, they were paying homage, and they obviously had, the voice actor is great. I always forget his name. But
Same guy. Yep.
Fantastic. Like, I can listen to him. I should do a cameo for him.
What's your favorite scary movie?
But no, I thought it was effective. I thought that, it showed modern technology with the splash of the old. So it kind of felt really reminiscent of the original, but then she doesn't get killed. So that's where it really went south for me. I'm like,
that. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. No, that's the part that I respected. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. So you respected the fact that, look, they tried something new. I get that. But I was like, oh, all right. So then it gave up two options for me. And obviously it was the second option, that either the girl has something to do and is in cahoots with the killer, or she's innocent, and there's a reason why she's being drugged into this plot, and it was number two.
Okay. Yeah, see, I felt the opposite. I was like, wait, they're not just going to do a phone call, like a girl at her house by her. Because do you remember how Scream 4 started?
I can't say I do.
Okay, so you need to watch this movie again.
Yeah, no, I'm going to, yeah.
Scream 4 opens fucking brilliantly.
Well, I like Jigsaw. I think he kills people very creatively.
But you don't give a shit who dies because there's no character development. There's just body parts ripping and blood spewing. Oh.
These attractive high school girls are geniuses on horror movies, right? And it starts off, call, boom, they get killed.
That was so fucking stupid. Pure horseshit. The death of horror right here in front of us. These sequels don't know when to stop. They just keep recycling the same shit. You can see everything coming. Ah!
Oh my god, I love it. I've seen it 5 times and it still gets me every time.
That just made me so happy because I'm watching this going, this is dumb diet. Like, this doesn't feel real. Turns out it wasn't real. Cuts back out to fucking Kristen Bell and the girl from X-Men who played the Rogue in the original X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting on a couch. And they just watch Stab. And it's them too going, are you fucking kidding me? It's all this meta horror bullshit, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, wait, so this is the real movie, right? All of a sudden, Kristen Bell stabs her 3 times in the stomach. And you're like, wait, what? That cuts out to Stab 8. And you go, dude, genius, brilliant. Then you get to the first two victims, the real victims of Scream 4. And that to me showed, oh, okay, they know what they're doing. They're winking at the audience, right? For this movie to open with just a normal original Scream opening of just a girl in her house gets a phone call. Why would you rehash that when it's impossible to do it better, and it's impossible to do it better than the original did? It blows my mind that they actually did that.
See, but that's what I mean when I feel like they did try too hard to get people from who like the original back in by doing the replicating. No, I'm not saying it's effective.
No, I said they replicated.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
Yeah. And that's what I meant when I'm going back and saying that they did try hard to get us to like it, because it's a terrible way of doing it. Halloween's done it, but let's just do what we did in the past and try to make it work, so that way people who know and love the movie, I see you shaking your head, I know what you're going to say, to like this one now. But why don't you agree with that?
No, because what they're doing is trying to get the younger audience who don't know Scream into this. Why do we want to see what we already saw? Every Scream movie stepped up and did something surprising and different. Example, the opening of Scream 4, just like I said. It's like if Scream 4 opened to just a girl in her house talking on the phone. You'd be like, what the fuck? They're trying to get a new audience with this opening. That's why I'm saying I disagree, because they're just trying to replicate what the original did. They're just trying to get a new audience by saying, oh, we're doing what Wes did in the opening. We're going to do it in here to get a new audience in. But you can't do it better, and you can't do it as good as Wes did. And that's what I mean. It's like they're not catering to us, the 30-something-year-old fans of the original. Why would we want to see a fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I mean by just replicating. And the only thing that I respected was, oh, she didn't die. So she might be able to, give clues to it, like that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're introduced to the characters, right? And there's some issues I have with most of the characters in this movie. Not even about the whole meta thing, but the actual group, right? They don't feel like they would really be friends in the movie. That happens a lot these days, right? Whereas you look at Scream, the original, you go, this makes sense. It's the 4 of them. It's a little bit smart, maybe 5. And it just made sense. You're like, oh, yeah. These would be the people that are hanging out at that school. Then you have like 9 characters in this one. And I'm like, dude, they do this a lot in movies and shows where you just don't get that feeling that they would actually be friends. That's one thing that really pissed me off about all of that. And there's just too many of them. Along with the old characters you're bringing back. You got fucking 13 characters, Mikey, in this new Scream.
Okay.
Keep it a little bit more night tit.
Night tit.
Tighten it, dude. My bad. That was a big thing I have with the characters, yeah.
I agree with you that they didn't feel like friends. I don't think there were too many of them. I think it was literally 5 of them and then the girl in the hospital. You know what I'm saying?
But then the old characters. So my point is,
they're barely in the movie.
Yeah, sure. But now you got like let's just round it up to 10. Let's say there's 10 characters. Too much.
Not 10 characters. See, the thing is, they didn't feel like friends because they don't show us them being friends.
Right.
That's the problem. Is they don't show us them. Oh, what are they doing? Are they talking about something that's not a horror movie?
Ghostface is back. Make yourself harder to find. Delete social media, tape over your phone camera.
Yes, thank you very much, Edward Snowden.
They are so enthusiastic, and they're all great actors.
To see them bringing a new perspective to the franchise while still honoring the past is really incredible.
I think they took this from the total, wrong perspective. It was super disappointing. And then the atmosphere for me, there was zero atmosphere. This does not feel like Woodsboro. It did not feel Halloween-y. Every Scream movie, for the most part, I know 3's in Hollywood, feels like Halloween-y kind of, right? It's that time. It's a Halloween costume. The guy grabbed from a shop. Woodsboro it has a feel to it. This didn't even feel like it was Woodsboro. It just didn't. The atmosphere was non-existent in this one.
No, it's a good point. It definitely took away from it because I didn't get that feel at all. And you're right. You get that in the other 4 beautifully. And yeah, it's just something about it's dual directors, right? Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it's 2 people. Yep.
I hate when there's always 2 directors because it always feels like something like okay, imagine me and you directed something. Literally 50-50 split. I think it'd be better if one of us just did. You see what I'm trying to say? It's like you got mashing too much.
But then you have like the Duffer brothers and the Farrelly brothers. And
There's exceptions.
And the Coen brothers. I think there's more, I don't know, I think it doesn't happen a lot, the dual directors. So I think there's actually more successful ones than not successful ones, just because it doesn't happen that often is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
so
possibly.
I don't think it's a problem of two directors. You know what I'm saying? They both directed Ready or Not, I believe, right?
I think they both did.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
so-
a good example. I like that movie, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't think. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the problem. Is that there's two directors? I'm trying to figure out the problem. I think this was put in. It's either do a new Scream, and we don't know Nev Campbell, we don't know Courtney Cox. Do it again. Make a remake, right? Make a remake. That's fine with me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not one of these like what's the word? I'm not one of these like purists who's like, no, you can't touch certain things. Make a fucking, I don't give a shit. They're going to do it anyway. Remake it. Because Scream 4 did this, where they brought back the legacy characters, but also had new characters, and they did it flawlessly. They did it perfectly. And like Scream already did that. Why are you doing that again? Make a new movie called Scream and have it all new, all new. So that's what I mean about like the wrong approach to it. Is this was done in 2011 and done way better, you know?
Hello, Samantha.
Who is this?
Someone who knows your little secret.
You're right, because again, in 2011, they did it right. So now you got to come out with something that's 10 years after the fact and 25 after the original. You better hit us with something dope.
How crazy. The original Scream is closer in time-wise to the original Halloween than this Scream is to the original Scream.
Wow, that's pretty
How
fucking
fucking wild is that? I was watching the original Scream today, and I'm going, oh my God. It's like it was 19 years after.
Yeah.
And I'm going, this is 20. Holy shit. How crazy is that?
Dude, that's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. It shows you how great Scream was.
Yeah.
Halloween's a great movie. I'm just saying, Scream was groundbreaking in terms of the commentary on horror and dialogue that we've never heard before and characters that felt real. They felt like real high school students.
Yeah.
You watch the first one, dude, Matthew Lillard is fantastic in it.
I'm Billy Wood, you all right? I can't take anymore. I'm feeling a little woozy here.
The kid who plays Billy Loomis, Skeet Ulrich, fantastic in it. Nev Campbell's even fantastic in it.
They all are.
It feels real. It feels authentic. And the dialogue is so fresh and something we never heard. And that's what I mean. Like, they're just trying to do that again in this one to a lesser extent. Because it's not the same writer, not the same director, and not the same guy scoring it. Everything felt off. Everything felt weird. It felt like a fan film more than it felt like a reboot or requel that the girl coins in this, where I'm like, I've never heard that term before, and I don't like it.
I hate that term. I was thinking about that term all like since I saw it, and I go, it's not for me.
No.
It's not for us. You know what I mean? And just don't try to be clever in that way. Be clever in different ways.
So what'd you think of the main girl?
I had a problem with the character altogether.
Okay, what about the actress?
I don't like her. I thought she was terrible.
She was one of the worst. I was laughing out loud in the movie theater at lines she was delivering, and I'm like, wait, is she, Mikey, one of the worst actresses I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Maybe she's great, I don't know, but not in this role. She was horrendous.
Hello, Samantha.
Who is this?
Someone who knows your little secret.
Mikey, I was like, how did they cast her as the Nev Campbell of this series?
And you know what's fucked up? I saw a lot of people online being like, she was a good Nev. She did a good job.
I saw the opposite. Okay.
Oh, I saw some. It wasn't overwhelming, but I saw some. I
okay.
go, what were you watching? Because it was a disgrace when the two of them were on screen together, her and fucking Nev Campbell. I go, how dare you, movie makers? But I'm going to talk about logistics real quick.
Okay, wait, you're going to talk about her age?
Yeah.
How did they mess that up?
Mikey, from the jump, dude. I go, in my head,
okay.
I go,
do the math.
This is so
bad. Explain.
So, guys, Scream took place in the year it came out, 1996, correct?
Yeah. All you need to know is it's 25 years after the original murders. That's what you need to know.
That's it. 25 years.
Yep.
So, who died in 1996? Billy Loomis. Now, it comes to our attention pretty early on, within the first act, that the character of Tara... Sam. Sorry. Tara's the other one. Sorry. Is Billy Loomis's daughter.
Okay.
And that she is 6 years older than her younger sister, who's 16?
No. She's 5 years older. She left when the little girl was 13 and she was 18, right? and she comes back 5 years later. So she should be 23 years old at the most.
100%.
Turns out she's like probably 2.5 years older than that, just by the sheer fact that 25 years ago, the original ones happened. You can't even get that right?
Angered me.
Dude, I was like, what?
Guys,
the fuck?
Simple math.
Numbers. It's numbers.
Literally.
They make it a point to say all these things of, oh, she was 13. She left when the older sister was 8. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they make a point to say all this.
Right.
If you're not going to do the research and take the effort, don't mention anything about ages or years.
Right. And it's actually more simple than you even thought because the movie took place 25 years ago. The killings took place 25.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey, guess what? Billy didn't impregnate someone when he was dead.
Yeah.
So she's 25.
It's
Just say she's fucking 7 years older. Like, it's that simple.
Exactly.
We are fans on a level that is hard to express.
And then can you tell me why every character is related to someone in this movie?
Yeah.
Each new character is tied to a legacy character.
Dude, they walk into Randy's house and they're like, oh, Randy was our uncle. And I'm like, wait, what? So 2 of our main characters who are twins, their uncle was Randy. And I'm like, you don't need the character who's supposed to be the expert in movies, even though everyone seems to be an expert in movies, be Randy's niece. Do you know how many things that my uncle does that I don't give a fuck about and I didn't take on his fucking passions?
True.
It's so lazy. We'll make them Randy's nieces and nephew. Mikey, oh my God, it really made me mad.
Yeah, it did. It really did. And how'd you feel about Skeet Ulrich coming back?
It was the dumbest thing in the world. They did the young CGI on his face.
Yeah.
And it was that was one of the last lines in my notes is the Billy Loomis ghost. And I'm like, you don't need this.
No.
This is not a Scream movie. And that's just another one of the reasons why it's not.
Hello, Sydney. It's an honor.
So we'll talk about the ending real quick, or no?
Yeah,
okay.
talk about the ending.
So look, Screams are known for who's the killer, right? You're trying to figure it out, and I go, you know what? Maybe this movie will redeem itself with me and just blow me away.
Mm-hmm.
Did not.
No.
And it angered me. And logistically, it angered me too.
But obviously, the Scream movies always have logistic problems
They
when
all
you
do.
go back. So that's why I don't even care about the logistics of it. But the thing that annoyed me most about this movie is that throughout the entire movie, the characters act like they are in a murder mystery movie and they talk about it every scene.
We're all suspects.
And if you watch the original Screams, that's not how it is. We as the audience are wondering who the killer is, but everybody in the movie isn't like, you're the killer now. Wait, why am I? Oh, no, you're the killer now. You're the killer now. And I get it. Maybe they're like, oh, we're trying to do something new though and fresh and whatever. That's cool if you want to do that. But don't do it so ham-fistedly. And every scene, someone's talking about, wait, you're the killer, or you're not the killer. They didn't do it in a smooth, clever, witty way like the originals did. And it made me so mad. But yeah, we can get to the ending and the reveal because I was I knew it was the fucking boyfriend. I just knew it from the beginning. I'm like, they're going to just make this guy the killer again.
1000%. And it all comes, I remember I thought that from the jump.
Everyone you have
did.
to. And you have doubts, obviously.
Yeah, of course
But
you're gonna
he's
have
the
doubts.
number one person who you're like, oh, he's going to be the killer.
Right. And then even to the fact where David Arquette, Dewey, or Dwight as we'll call him sometimes, points out, okay, well, where were you during this? He's like, well, you got to look at the fact that they said that, and I go, they're going to say all that just to try to protect him, to make you think that he's actually not, but of course he is. I knew it from the jump. Fuck that. And then wasn't the girl, the actress Mikey Madison, the girl at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
That's her, man.
I remember your white little face.
God, I hated that it was her.
I just didn't. I didn't even recognize her. I didn't even recognize. Like when she popped on the screen, I'm like, oh, it's just one of the other girls. Like I didn't. There was no character for me to be like, oh, it's her. I didn't remember her. I didn't remember any of the females except the Randy's niece. I didn't remember any of the other females. They were just kind of interchangeable, and she didn't have enough scenes to be justified as the killer. Right. That's my problem.
Right.
And I went home and went on the stick and I skimmed through the entire movie again to see if there were clues left and how they interacted with each other. The only thing really is when they're in the hospital and they kind of point each other being the killer. And that's the only thing that kind of leads you to believe it.
That's it. Yeah. It didn't feel earned. Like the killers just sucked, man. I was just like, guys, and like I was just so angry, and I go, all right, look, there's 15 minutes left. Just get me out of this movie.
We're gonna make it 2 killers again? Why are you doing that? I was expecting, oh shit, dude, it's gonna be like 5 of them. I was like, it's gonna be a whole conspiracy. Yeah. That would have been so awesome and so cool. And they didn't do it. It's just like, oh, it's 2 killers again who are obsessed with the original stab movies, basically horror movies, and they're trying to make a sequel to the movies. So they're gonna commit a real crime in order to make that movie. Why don't they just write that movie and try to get it sold? Like, it just, when you start thinking about it, it really doesn't do it for me. It's the same commentary that the original tried to do with movies. Obviously, Billy had a motive too with Nev Campbell's mom and stuff like that. So, but obviously a big point of it is the influence of horror movies. And just for them to do that again, you know, and the toxic fandom, they even say toxic fandom. I'm like, this is not, I didn't like anything about the reveal.
No, it was so lame. And to your point about having 5 characters, what I would have liked to seen was that when Dewey shot Ghostface basically point blank 4 times, that it actually killed the killer.
Sure.
And then later, the killings keep going on. Then it's revealed. Then it's the boyfriend. Then he explains why she was in on it and how he knew her. And I go, oh, that would have made it because, again, she got shot a lot. 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 She got shot a lot.
100%.
And just doesn't die?
Bulletproof vest, though. What do you mean? What?
I'm just saying it didn't look like all of them were in the chest area. That's
all
I'm
gonna say.
It
is.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I'm saying I rewatched.
Okay,
she gets shot in the chest, though, every time.
I know he said he wanted to shoot her in the head. I'm just saying.
As an avid horror fan, I'm kind of surprised that would annoy you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'll annoy me a little bit. But kill her. But it would have been cool if he killed her. My point is, it would have been cool if they tried something new. But the 2 killers at the end didn't like who the killers were and hated that there were 2, so it can go fuck itself.
This is the last thing I'll say. Then we'll do scores.
Sure.
Nothing surprised me, shocked me, or any sort of chance that they took or risk that they took. And that is what I wanted. I wanted them to take a risk. I wanted them to do something new, make Nev Campbell die halfway through, do something, and they did absolutely nothing. So, all right, score?
Let's do scores, man. I go first. I'm going to give this a 5.0.
Oh, I'm giving this a 3 because I thought it was absolutely horrible.
Okay.
Yep.
Not a problem. I respect it.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up this video. Make sure you guys go and check out. We're going to do a little bit longer, extended one on our Apple Podcast feed. So search
2 Dopeless or Fiends Watch
on your Apple iTunes app, or your Spotify app, or whatever.
Spotify too.
And listen to this episode. We're going to do a little bit more into this episode, but right now we're going to keep it short. So, I don't know.
Thank you for stopping by the watch one more time. As always.
We're going to be back next time with not a shitty piece of shit remake of something that I loved from my goddamn childhood and that didn't live up to expectations.
Totally.